Have you ever wondered why electricity prices jump at dinner time, or why they sometimes even go negative? It all comes down to one simple concept: the merit order. In this lesson, I will show you exactly how the merit order works, step by step inside this interactive Excel model. If you would like to follow along, click the link in the video description below, hit free preview on the course page, and after creating your free account, you can download this exact file for free and explore it yourself. Keep your model open so you can follow along as we connect each part of the chart to the underlying dispatch logic. Here's the merit order in a single picture. We line up generators by variable cost. Cheapest on the left, most expensive on the right. At any given time of the day, we have a certain level of demand. To meet such demand, all power plants to the left of the demand line must run, starting from the cheapest. The plant we just reached is the marginal unit, and its dollar per megawatt hour becomes the spot price for that interval. When demand is low, baseload sets the price. When it's high, we push into mid-merit or even peakers, and prices jump. Now, let's watch how this plays out throughout the day in the Excel model. By the end of this demo, you will be able to read a merit order chart, identify the marginal unit at any time of the day, and predict how outages or plant disruptions move the spot price. Alright, let's step into the grid operator shoes and take a look at how the system actually works. Up here is our dispatch control room. Each of these rows represents a power plant block, so think of these as the individual units that make up the grid. You can see their capacity in megawatts, their variable cost in dollar per megawatt hour, and over here a simple on-off switch that lets us decide which plants are running. It's as if we are sitting in an actual dispatch console, toggling units on and off. Right now, 3 plants are kept offline. We'll bring them back later to see how additional system capacity affects prices. In the top right corner, there's a small status check. It tells me instantly whether total demand is being met. If something turns red here, it means the system can't meet load and prices would spike. In the middle, we have the control panel. This is where we drive the simulation. The time of day shows where we are on the 24-hour curve. The power demand tells us how much the system needs to produce. And the spot price shows the cost of the marginal unit. That's the plant that currently sets the market price. And finally, sim speed. This controls how fast the day plays out. For now, I will keep it slow at 1 second per step, so you can watch the changes clearly. Below this panel, we have the heart of the console. This chart shows what's happening at any instant. The dashed dark blue line is our supply stack. Each step is a generator, sorted from the cheapest on the left, over here, to the most expensive on the right. The orange vertical line is the system demand line. Wherever it crosses the stack, that's the marginal unit. And this little red dotted line shows its price. That's the current wholesale electricity spot price. Along the bottom of the chart, we look at cumulative capacity in megawatts, and on the left at variable cost in dollars per megawatt hours. So this one picture connects physical generation on the grid directly to the market price we see at any instance. Now that you know what each element does, let's run the system. Let's start early in the morning, say 2 o'clock. So we start with low demand and a low price. Now let's watch how it evolves as the day unfolds. It's 2 in the morning and the grid is quiet. Baseload units like nuclear and efficient coal supply most of the energy. The orange demand line crosses early in the stack, so the marginal unit is cheap and the spot price is low. As the city wakes up, demand drifts right. We start to pull in mid-merit units, typically combined cycle gas or flexible coal. Notice how the price rises, not because baseload got expensive, but because the marginal unit changed. Through the late morning and early afternoon, demand is fairly stable. We are running a mix, baseload plus some mid-merit. Prices are still moderate, set by whichever unit is at the margin at that time. Now watch the evening peak. People return home, cook, charge, heat or cool. The demand line pushes into the right tail. We need peakers, the expensive units that only run at peaks. They set the spot price so prices jump. As it gets late, demand falls. Peakers drop out and the marginal unit moves back left. Prices fall with it. And by the time we loop back to 2 in the morning, we are back to baseload setting the price. This is why adding flexible, low-cost supply or shifting demand away from the peak flattens prices. We avoid those costly peakers. If you're finding this video lesson useful so far, we would really appreciate if you like or subscribe our channel. That helps us to make more of these deep dives. Alright, now let's see what happens when we add more capacity to the grid. Here's the full day in one picture. The stacked blue bands show which plant types are running across the day. The red dashed line is the spot price, set by the marginal unit at each moment. Notice, nights are cheap and baseload sets the price. And in the late afternoon and evening peak, when we touch more expensive units, spot prices spike. Alright, let's now add more capacity to the grid. So what we'll do is turn on one of our coal plants, as well as another gas plant, and one further peaker. You can see that both our merit order chart has flattened, as well as the spot price curve throughout the full day has also flattened. Watch the red dashed price line. Two things happen immediately. The evening spike softens. We are no longer forced as deep into the very expensive tail. And the whole day gets a little calmer, because the marginal unit we touch at a given time is now cheaper on average. There are two basic principles to take away from this lesson. Add lower cost capacity or shift demand away from the peak and you flatten price volatility. It's not that demand disappeared, it's that the marginal unit changed. Now let's run one fast lap with our additional capacity. We will set the sim speed back to 0.2 and hit play and see what happens. In the early morning, baseload sets a low price. During the commute and daytime, we drift into mid-merit, prices rise but stay contained. During the evening peak, demand pushes right, but with the extra capacity, the spike becomes a rounded plateau, not a cliff. Late at night, demand falls back. Baseload takes over and prices settle. This is the core logic of the merit order in action. Price equals cost of the marginal unit. Shift demand or add cheaper, flexible supply and you change who's marginal. We have just watched the full system in action, demand rising and falling, and different plants stepping in to meet it. Now, let's slow down and look at who these plants actually are and how they behave in the real world. Let's start with nuclear. In the dispatch world, this is the classic baseload unit. Steady, predictable, designed to run almost all the time. Nuclear carries the 24/7 floor of demand. In our Excel console, it's the big block that never leaves the left side of the stack. On a marginal cost basis, nuclear is very low. Full plus short run operations are typically in the single digits to low teens dollars per megawatt hour. That's why late at night, when demand is low, nuclear often sets the price. The trade-off is flexibility. Nuclear plants have a high minimum stable output. They ramp slowly, and starting or stopping them can take many hours to days. So operators plan changes well ahead. Nuclear is not what you use for quick peaks. Next up is hydro. In our merit order, it's cheap, like baseload on cost, but it behaves very differently operationally. Hydro is the grid's balancing workhorse. When we have water, it's a unit we reach for to follow load, cover ramps, and provide reserves. It's terrific for the evening peaks. On a marginal cost basis, it's low. There's no fool to buy. Short-run costs are mainly O&M and water fees, usually single digits to low teens dollars per megawatt hour. Flexibility is high. Hydro can start, stop, and ramp quickly. The catch? It's very energy limited. Output is bounded by hydrology, reserve levels, and minimum flow rules, so operators dispatch it strategically rather than running it flat. Next up is coal. In the merit order, it sits between cheap baseload and the fast, expensive peakers. Think of coal as bulk energy in the middle. High efficiency units tend to run in long daytime blocks. Low efficiency units do more load following. Through many hours, coal often sets the price. On cost, coal is medium. Fuel and O&M dominate, typically mid $20 to $40 per megawatt hour in a pre-carbon world. Add a carbon price and this part of the stack shifts up. Flexibility is moderate. Coal can ramp, but it's slower than gas and must hold a minimum stable output. Starting or stopping takes hours, and frequent cycling adds wear and cost. From coal in the middle of the stack, we jump to the far right, gas and oil peakers. These are the units the grid calls on when demand spikes, or when we need instant flexibility. Think of them as peak shaving and reserves. They run for short windows, handle contingencies, and provide steep ramp support. Because they sit at the far right of the stack, when they're on, they often set the price. On cost, peakers are high. Short run cost is mostly fuel, commonly $70 to $120 per megawatt hour or more. Oil tends to be even pricier. That's why gas or oil price shocks push this end of the stack up quickly. The reason why we still keep them is flexibility. Many can start in minutes and ramp very fast, perfect for the evening peak or when something trips offline. From the high cost, highly flexible end of the stack, let's jump to the far left, solar. Solar is daytime energy. It shifts the stack left, lowers midday prices, and sets up the evening ramp when the sun drops. In high solar systems, we sometimes curtail output midday to keep the system balanced, and we lean on storage to turn sunlight into firmer capacity. On a marginal cost basis, solar is near zero. There's no fuel, and short-run costs are essentially $0 per megawatt hour. That's why when the sun is out, solar pushes a lot of electricity into the grid on the left side of the stack and pulls the market price down, especially around midday. Flexibility is low because output follows the sun. We can't dispatch it on command. Ramps can be fast with passing clouds, but that's weather driven, not operator driven. So solar adds variability that the rest of the fleet or storage has to balance. Solar pulled the midday price down. Wind is similar on cost, near zero marginal, but its pattern is different. Like solar, wind has no fuel cost, so on a marginal basis it's about $0 per megawatt hour. That pushes the stack left whenever the wind blows. Wind is weather driven, 24/7. In many regions it's stronger at night and in the shoulder seasons, which complement solar. It lowers prices through the day, but when the transmission is tight, you will see curtailment. Because the wind doesn't perfectly align with the peak demand, the system leans on more flexible plants and storage to firm it up. Operational flexibility is low to moderate. Wind can ramp quickly, but the ramp is from the weather, not the operator. We can't dispatch it on command, so the rest of our power plants and increasingly storage must absorb those ups and downs. Wind and solar push prices down when generation is high and drive them up when they fade. What the system needs is something that can store the excess energy and feed it back during peaks, and that's exactly what battery storage does. On a marginal basis, BESS or battery energy storage systems are low, but not zero cost. Every cycle has degradation and efficiency losses. Round-trip efficiency is about 85 to 92%. So think of an effective $5 to $20 per megawatt hour of throughput. System-wide, BESS shifts energy. It charges when prices are low, often during sunny or windy hours, and discharges into the evening peak. It acts like a peaker without fool, balances variable wind and solar, and trims the duck curve's neck, which is something we'll explore in the upcoming lessons. The trade-off is that storage is energy limited. Today, many systems are 1 to 4 hours, so state of charge and duration determine how long it can keep the peak covered. Flexibility is off the charts. Batteries start and stop instantly, ramp in milliseconds, and can charge or discharge on command. That makes them perfect for fast frequency response, contingency reserves, and voltage support. In the next lessons, we'll put solar, wind, and BESS together in the dispatch console and show how net load and prices change with renewables and BESS in the mix. See you there.